Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is James. For those of y'all that are just coming in, today we are doing a live Q&A to help you grow on YouTube. We're going to be taking questions from the audience. We've already got some questions set up in queue, ready to go. So I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you coming in on the chat, thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And if you are catching this on the replay, leave us any questions that you have down in the comments. Even though you're not catching the live show, we do take questions and use those to create videos out of. So if you have any questions, leave them down. We will try to answer what we can in the comments, as well as using them to make videos as we move forward. If you're in the live chat, say hello. Hello, Adrian. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Hope everybody is staying warm. It's nice and chilly out here in Texas. Hope you're having a great day, Adrian. So, all right, I scheduled this for last week, and then we rescheduled it because we were all exhausted from the trip that we went to Dallas. But I wanted to come on and do a Q&A, hang out, chill with everybody, have a little chat. Hello, Marie. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you and Justin are enjoying the beach. It's all right. I hate the cold, so it is not all right, but it is what it is. We had fun today. I went to take out the trash, and I hit a patch of ice on the ground, and I hit the ground. I'm sure it was exciting. I'm glad we didn't have the camera rolling because it would have made some funny B-roll, but might have made a good short video, but it did not help. It did not feel good. So hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. I got a few questions queued up already that people have been sending in. There we go. So, all right. Well, 11 degrees when you woke up. Yeah, I saw you in Nick's live saying that you had just woke up and that you were chugging down the coffee. We had already been up for a little while. Our nurse called off this morning, so I honestly hung out on a few live streams today, but I pretty much was off of YouTube most of the day today because I had my hands full with Emily and Jesse trying to take care of the kids and having fun. Got some steaks going, marinating right now. We're going to cook up some steaks for Valentine's Day tomorrow. What y'all doing for Valentine's Day? We left the house in nearly a foot of snow on the drive. Wow. Woke up at 6, made the coffee. Gotta have the coffee. I still got the pot going. Especially when it gets really cold like this. Some Instapot. I love my Instapot. I use my Instapot at least once or twice a week. At least. Sometimes more than that. I love it. I have that. My two most used tools in my kitchen, honestly, is my Instapot and my crock pot. So I'm either going to cook it fast in pressure or I'm going to cook it slow on low heat. Oh, your Valentine's anniversary too, huh? Jessica and I have an anniversary tomorrow too. So I did not know that you did. That's why I'm doing this today instead of doing it tomorrow, because I have been told I am not allowed to spend my anniversary on YouTube. So you probably will not see me very much tomorrow. I might be on. She might be tired of me by the time D goes live, so I might be at D's live, but pretty much you're not going to see me. Hi, Pia. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're staying warm. Yeah, we were married on Valentine's Day in 2013. Yeah, she may be tired of me by the nighttime though, so by the time D comes on, I might be able to make that one. But and we don't have a nurse tomorrow, so we're gonna have our hands full with the kids anyway. So we don't have a nurse for Emily. We're gonna have Jesse, and it's too cold to go anywhere. So we're probably just gonna chill at the house, hang out. 2002. Well, I was married in 2001, but not to Jessica. 2010. Let's hope he doesn't fall asleep again and miss his live stream. Yeah, who was it? Doug was asking in Nick's live where Nick was, or where D was, and I said, "Are you kidding? He sleeps through his own live stream. He's probably sleeping through his brother's." Oh my goodness! Black ice everywhere. Slipped and hurt your leg. I slipped. You missed it. I was telling everybody just a few minutes ago. I slipped taking out the trash this morning. Slipped on some ice in the driveway, and I landed flat on my back. And my back's, I've been on the couch with Emily most of the day because my back has just been killing me almost all day. But I took a bunch of Advil and it's taking the edge off anyway. I'm probably gonna be sore for a couple of days, but you know, it is what it is. I've always kind of been clumsy anyway. It kind of happens. And hope your leg feels better. Hope it's okay, especially when you're trying to move. Scratched and bleeding. Oh my goodness. In the middle of a move, too. That's not a good time for it to be down. Smoking out the bathroom window. I didn't know you smoked. Yes, it is cool. It's too cool. That's the problem. It's so cool, it's too cool. So, all right. Well, we're going to dive into some questions here. Some of these are viewer questions, questions from comments, emails that I've gotten, and some of them have been coming from the form that we put up. If you have a question you want, you can either put it in the chat or put it up in the form. I don't have so many huge people that I have to have the form, but I'm kind of getting in the habit of putting it out there so that when we do grow and have a bigger live stream, we've got it in place. But we've got a small enough crowd. If you've got any questions, you can just put them in the chat. But the first one comes from Callie, and Callie asks, how do I get more interactions on my live stream? Well, doing live streams can be a lot of fun, but getting interaction can sometimes be challenging when you're small, when you're starting out. The more people you get in your chat, the more interaction you're going to get naturally as people start conversing amongst themselves. You'll say and do things as you get more relaxed and get more confident and more comfortable and get more relaxed with your audience. You're going to say and do things that are just naturally you, and people are going to rip off of that, and it's going to get some conversation going. But one of the biggest things that we do, like especially when we're doing our more prepared live streams, is we actually put questions into our run of show. For those of you that don't know, we kind of do what's called a run of show or a show blueprint, whatever you want to call it. It's basically just a plan for the show. And in that plan, we put at least one or two questions that we're going to ask throughout the stream to get interaction with the chat as well as interaction in your comments. Because whenever you address those questions, you always want to address the people that are watching it live, but you also want to be addressing the people on the replay and asking them to leave you comments, and that's going to help get more replay value out of your live streams as well. So hope that that's going to be helpful. Yeah, I didn't see it either. I didn't even see the wet spot or anything. I was walking along and I hit it, and as soon as I hit it, my tennis shoes slipped, and I said, "Oh crap!" And a few other nice words that were not quite so nice. I tried vaping for a while. It did not react well with my body, and that's all we're going to say about it. We're not going to talk about the kind of problems I had, because some things are not discussed in polite company. Dan will get you a new car. All right. So Sam sent me a question. He says, how can I earn some money with a small channel? Don't need much, but there's some services I want extra money to pay for. Well, I love using services like StreamYard. That's who we're using today. For those of y'all that haven't noticed, I've been going back and forth between StreamYard and Restream. And that's because I'm actually even recording some of it, because I'm actually working on a video doing Restream versus StreamYard and comparing the two and which one I think is better for our audience. But personally, I'm kind of going back and forth. I actually enjoy Restream. There's some of the features that I like in Restream, but there's some things that I like in StreamYard better. But there's StreamYard, there's TubeBuddy, there's all these services, Canva Pro, and they all cost money, and it adds up pretty quickly. So I try to teach people you can start monetizing your channel from day one, so that you can help, even if it's just a little bit here and there, you can start earning a little bit of extra income. There's a few ways that we do that. One, if those of you that have been watching the last few videos we've done, you'll notice that we've been doing some affiliate recommendations. We have affiliate links in all of our videos, where we have all the tools and services that we use for our channel are actually in the descriptions of most of our videos. We also have specific products that we will recommend in videos that they're relevant to. So if we're doing something on keyword research, we'll recommend people to TubeBuddy, because that's the tool we use for doing that. When we've been doing this series on thumbnails, I've been recommending people to Canva Pro, because that's the tool I use to make my thumbnails. When I do affiliate marketing, and the way I recommend you do affiliate marketing is that you recommend people to products that you personally use yourself. And this way, you're going to guarantee that they're going to get value out of the products that you recommend. Everything that you recommend, you're not only, putting that out there for a commission, you're also kind of staking your reputation with your audience. You can lose trust with your audience if you start recommending bad products, or products don't live up to the hype that you put behind it. So you want to make sure that you're only being honest and giving your honest opinion of the products, and that you're only recommending products that you personally use yourself. You're not just using products for a commission. And the same is true for me for brand deals. I wouldn't go do a brand deal right now with a company that isn't something that was in alignment with my brand. Same thing with collaborations. I wouldn't do a collaboration with somebody that's not in alignment with my brand, and it wouldn't be a good fit for my audience. And affiliate products are the same way. So find products that you personally use. So for example, for my friends that are resellers, you could be doing your shipping supplies. Where do you get your boxes? Where do you get your bubble wrap? All the stuff that you use for shipping, your scales that you use for postage, all that kind of stuff. Think about sites like Pirate Ship. They have an affiliate program so that when people sign up for their services, you can get commissions. So look at the software tools that you use look at, the products that you use on a daily basis in relationship to your niche that would be a good fit for your audience, and recommend those as an affiliate. If you can't find it anywhere else, go to Amazon. I mean, some of mine are Amazon links because that's the only way I can get them. But then if I can find a better deal as far as an affiliate, because Amazon's affiliate program sucks. Honestly, it's one of the most popular, but it's one of the worst ones to work with. They treat their affiliates like crap, and their commission rates suck, but they have thousands of products available. So there is that. And they do give, you could be recommending a $2 product, but if they go in and spend $1,000 within 24 hours of clicking your affiliate link, you get the commission on the $1,000, not the $2 product. So that's one advantage to using Amazon, is they're going to push other products, recommend you to other products. There's a lot of people that'll go on, they'll buy one product, or they'll buy 20 or 30 products. And when they do that and they clicked on your affiliate link, you get that commission for the full sale. So, and like here, I might be recommending somebody to a microphone, but they might get that. And then Amazon, knowing their user history, pops up an ad for a camera that's a $600 or $700 camera. And then they say, hey, you know what? I really need that camera. And so they buy that camera. So I get the commission for the camera and for the microphone. And they may not even buy the microphone. They just got to Amazon through my link, but then they buy the camera, but they didn't buy the product I recommended. That doesn't matter. Once they're on the platform, anything that they buy within 24 hours, I'm going to get that commission. So that's the advantage to Amazon. The downside is 2 to 5% commission rates, which is one of the lowest in the industry. And they treat their affiliates like crap. But affiliate marketing is honestly the fastest and easiest way to monetize your YouTube channel. I would recommend start learning and using affiliate marketing. I've had affiliate marketing going on this channel since day one. Affiliate marketing is actually what got me into online content in the first place 10 years ago. I've spent a lot of time doing affiliate marketing. I used to run a full-time business doing affiliate marketing, and it's one of the easiest ways to monetize what you're doing. So, all right, Pia, take care of your leg. I hope you feel better. And that was going to be the other thing. Is the second way that I would recommend monetizing right off the start is you can do donations or a low end membership, something like that. Like we have ours all set up with Buy Me a Coffee. There's a lot of them. There's Patreon, there's Buy Me a Coffee. There's a few others out there. I think those are two of the most popular ones right now. Buy Me a Coffee I like better because with Patreon, you have membership options. And the advantage to Patreon is you can do different levels of membership. The downside to Patreon is, one, it's pay to play. So you have to pay a monthly fee, whether you have any members or not. And they have a high percentage rate that they take out of your cut. And so, and it's kind of clunky the way their systems work. And I've heard a lot of people having problems with the way they're running their platform. Buy Me a Coffee, on the other hand, has multiple options. You can sell an ebook through Buy Me a Coffee. You can do your own products and services. I have my consulting service set up through Buy Me a Coffee, where we do consulting with people's YouTube channels. We do, you've got the donation, where they can just do like a $2 or $3 donation or a $5 donation, or you've got the ability to put a membership. The downside with their membership on Buy Me a Coffee that I don't like, which I have a membership set up over there. I don't have any members in there yet, but we have an Inspired Tubers membership over on Buy Me a Coffee, where we do a monthly live stream and a few other things. But the downside is you only have one level of membership. You can't do multi-level memberships for different price points. So you can only do one membership. I have mine set at $5 a month. And basically we do a members only live stream. Plus we'll get you some behind the scenes footage and some extra stuff that way for our members. We just put it up a couple of weeks ago. We haven't really got any members yet, but I haven't been pushing it really. I think that's the first time I've actually even mentioned that I have the membership option over there. But you just go to buy me a coffee and you can sign up there. And it's a great little platform to monetize early on. You can start it at day one. You don't have to have any kind of a following to start. Now, just like any monetization, the more you grow your audience, the more you engage people, and then the more you learn how those particular monetization models work, the more you're going to be able to get conversions, because there's a difference between putting it out there and getting conversions, getting people to buy it. And there's a lot of details that go into all that. I'm not going to go into it. But the two things that I would recommend is set up a Buy Me a Coffee, at least set up donations through Buy Me a Coffee and allow people the opportunity to donate to your channel. And then also do affiliate marketing and recommending people to affiliate sales. That's the easiest way to monetize early on. Brandon Sparks is in the house. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I did watch your channel reviews the other day. I had to leave and go do my own live stream, but I went back and watched the replay. You guys did a great job. Loved having you and Tiffany on there. Yeah, just some shout outs. $3 for Farmstead Smith. That's cool. And you can always change the price on it too. And you might just do, a low end membership to kind of get you started. And then once you get monetized and you can get memberships through YouTube, do your membership through YouTube where you can do multiple levels as well. So that's another option. Hello, Pearlini. Hope you're doing well, Lynn. Thanks for joining us. Hope y'all are staying warm for those of y'all that came in late. So I got a question from, what is it? Tanya, I think is what it is. How do I get more subs in my reselling niche? And getting subscribers, one, I'm going to answer this two ways. I'm going to answer your question by not answering your question first, and then I'm actually going to dive into how to do it. But the first thing I want you to think about is don't focus on subscribers. Subscribers is a vanity metric for the most part. Yeah, you want to get that 1,000 subscribers, and I understand the rush to get to the 1,000 subscribers that everybody gets into. But honestly, subscribers are a byproduct of running a good channel. So instead, I would rather see you focus on creating good content, creating compelling content, creating content that drives people to want to take action on something. Because when you do that, you're naturally going to gain subscribers. They're going to go up. People are going to watch your videos. They're going to like your videos. They're going to share your videos. They're going to want to see more. So they're going to subscribe. There are some things you can do to increase your chances of getting subscribers on videos. Things like giving a strong call to action to subscribe, setting up your channel in a way that gets people to subscribe and keeps people on your channel longer. And things like, make sure you don't have any extra links off of your channel that are going to other channels or off the platform, because YouTube doesn't like it when you send people off the platform. They want you to keep people on YouTube. So if you're sending people to Twitter, to Instagram, to your eBay store, to all these other places, YouTube doesn't like that. So they're going to recommend your content less. So if people are coming to your channel and they're leaving because they're leaving YouTube, because you're sending them off of YouTube, YouTube doesn't like that. So they're going to show your videos to less people. And they'll show somebody else's video that is keeping people on the platform. So you want YouTube recommending your content as much as possible. So try to do what you can to please them. Keep them on the platform as much as you can. Hey, Matt. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And if anybody's got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I've got some other questions that we're going through here. So getting subscribers is all about just providing value to people and giving people a reason to subscribe. It's not something that is you control either. And I'm always telling people, focus your goals, especially if you're new, if you're a small channel, focus on building your skills, focus on your controllables. You can't control whether people subscribe or not. You can ask them to, you can hope people do, but in the end of the day, you can't control whether they hit that subscribe button or not. So setting your goals based off of something you're not in control of is ludicrous, because all you can do is fail. Instead, set your goals based on things you can control. How many videos are you putting out? How much are you improving your skills on those videos? Set your goals that way and focus your efforts, especially early on. If you're under 100 videos, I would be solely focused on video production and trying to get the word out about your channel more and doing what you can. But at the same time, not so worried if people don't subscribe. I've gotten some flack from people because on this channel, it took me 3 months to get my first 100 subscribers. And I'm not worried about growth. I'm not worried about whether people are subscribing to our content. I'm getting data. I'm putting videos out. I've had goals I'm trying to reach. And as I continue putting out more content, we're getting subscribers. We're getting more people in. I am still getting out, networking, chatting with people, letting people know more about what we're doing here. But I'm not focused on subscribership. I'm focused on building an audience, and I'm focused on building a library of content that can bring me subscribers over time, not trying to just grab as many subscribers as fast as I can. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, I was telling everybody we're going to be offline tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this today, because tomorrow is my wedding anniversary, because we were married on Valentine's Day. So I'm going to be spending the day with the wife and the kids. All right. Eric sent me a message. He says, my videos get a few views, then they die. How do I make them get more views? And I've experienced this a lot. You can see a lot of my videos, they start growing and they start getting views, and then they don't. There's a few reasons why. One, YouTube's not going to push your video out based on data they receive back. So when you first publish a video, it's going to go out to notifications to your subscribers, but YouTube's also going to start showing it to people. It might show it in a few search results. It might show it in recommended content. And the way you can tell YouTube's doing this is you look at your impression rate. You look at your impressions, and impressions is going to tell you that YouTube is showing your video. But then YouTube's going to look at a couple of factors. The two major ones is your click-through rate and your watch time. So the higher your click-through rate and the higher your watch time, the more YouTube's going to recommend it out to other people. The lower those are, the less likely they are. Now, they're not judging your watch time and your click-through rate against the other videos on your channel. What they're doing is they're looking at the keywords you're targeting, the content that they're recommending that content next to, and they're seeing how does your video compare versus the other videos they're showing it next to. And so if it's showing it on recommended content, or if it's showing it in suggested videos next to somebody else's content, then they're going to compare your click-through rate and your watch time compared to the other videos that it's ranking against. And the ones that are getting the most watch time and the most click-through rate are going to continue to be shown there. And if yours isn't getting the watch time or it's not getting the click-through rate, then they're not going to show your video anymore. But that doesn't mean that it's dead. I've had videos that I put out 2 years later, they started ranking in search. YouTube finally found the right audience for that video. It also started ranking in Google search. So I was getting traffic from Google search. Was getting traffic from YouTube search. And now, several years later, so those videos were posted like 8 years ago, and they've got like 50,000 views on them. And they're still getting traffic now, 8 years after I published it. And I know they're still getting traffic now because I can go in and I can look at the comments. It's a channel I don't even have access to, so I can't even look at the analytics, but I can go to look at the comments. and I've gotten comments on those videos within the last 4 months. So I know that those videos are still getting views because they're still getting comments 8 years after I published it. So I want you to think about YouTube as a long-term game. Don't think about just the short-term results you get, because you could put out a video today and in 10 years from now, it's still getting views. It's still getting watched. It's still getting shares. It's still getting people watching and engaging on that content. That's the power of YouTube. You do it, you got just a few videos on your channel and you do that, you get 1 or 2 views with a few views. But if you do those videos in a way that funnels people into your other content, that's going to increase the views across your channel. And as you continue building that library, you get a dozen videos doing that. You get 24 videos doing that. Then over a long period of time, as you build up that library of content and that content gets ranking, you also get more authority within the niche. YouTube, once you get enough content in there, YouTube can kind of figure out what your niche is, who your ideal audience is as they get more data. And then they can show you more to the right people faster. And then you're going to get ranking faster. You're going to get more views faster, and it's going to continue to grow. And then some of those old videos can even start to grow because YouTube now knows who's to serve them to. So again, think long-term and just keep consistently putting out content. Yep. I just did a whole series on how to get started on YouTube. And most of you that are here were already subscribed to my channel. Most of y'all didn't watch those videos because you already have a YouTube channel. So I knew my audience that existed wasn't going to watch those videos when I put them out. So I knew they weren't going to perform well out of the gate. But I also know over time, I'm going to be recommending people back to those videos. And I know over time, YouTube is going to be able to recommend people to those videos. So over time, they're probably going to be able to get, and those kind of tutorial videos don't generally do very well initially anyway. And whenever I'm serving them to an audience that doesn't need that content, it was even worse. Some of those videos have like 10 or 15 views on them now. But I knew it was going to be that way when I published them, but I did it for the long game, not for the short game. Right. Oh, this is a good one. And this is one that I've actually been asked a lot of people. Why don't variety channels work on YouTube? This is something that's interesting because a lot of people want to do something different is what they say, but then they start just doing variety content. Basically, they're just doing content that's on 3 or 4 different niches of content, and they think they're being different because they don't see other channels doing it, because the channels that are doing it you'll never see very well because they don't show up in search, they don't show up in recommended. You're never going to find them unless you actually know the people that run them. I see them all the time because I search for them, but it's hard to find them because they're buried in search. They're hard to get ranking in search. Now, why doesn't YouTube like these kind of channels? Because YouTube's algorithm is all about audience behavior. And one of the things that we found with audience behavior is you post a video today on how to go fishing. And you do this really great video on how to go fishing, and YouTube figures out who to serve it to, and it gets thousands of views. And then next week, you post a video on how to cook pot roast. Well, that's a totally different audience. So they're going to say, well, you did this video on how to do fishing, and we're going to show this video on how to cook pot roast to the same audience that liked your last video. And they show it to that audience, and that audience doesn't click and like it because people that are interested in fishing don't care about how to cook a pot roast. You might get a few people that watch it, but not the majority of them. It's going to show it to your subscribers, and your subscribers are going to say, nah, I'm subscribed for the fishing, not for the cooking. I don't care about how to cook a pot roast. I already know how to cook a pot roast. So they don't click on it and watch the video. And so you have to make sure you're making content for the audience you're building on your channel. You have to pick an audience and create content for that audience. If you're doing variety content, YouTube gets confused and doesn't know who to serve the videos to, so they're not going to do very well in search. They're not going to be doing very well in recommended content. They're just going to fizzle out and die. Because you want to build an audience and you want to build a consistent audience. The other thing is like your notifications. So again, let's go back with that fishing and cooking just because it's an example. So this week you did a cooking video. Let's say the next week you do a cooking video. But then the week after that, you go back and you do another fishing video. Well, now any subscribers you got from the cooking video aren't going to be interested in the fishing video. And the other side of that is most of the people that subscribe to the fishing video you did before are not going to get a recommendation because YouTube's going to look at it and say, well, you didn't watch the last two videos, so we're not going to even send you the notification on the new video because you're not watching their content anyway. See, they're going to send you notifications based on your viewer behavior, not on whether you're subscribed to the channel or not. So they're going to send you that notification if you're subscribed, but only if you're actively watching that channel's content. I have channels I'm subscribed to that I never get notifications for because I don't actively watch all of their content. I have to go look at their channel to see if they put out something I'm interested in, even though I'm subscribed to their channel. I also have channels that I'm not subscribed to that show up all the time in my recommended feeds because I watch their content all the time, even though I'm not subscribed to them. Had my first try, had to put in some blocked words. Yeah, make sure you put your home address and stuff in that blocked words list too. I have a video on that. But make sure you're putting your home address in there because people will try to dox your address and put it out there for everybody to see. And I don't like to play that game. But trolls suck, but they're going to happen. You know, I've been trolled in my scavenger channel. I haven't really gotten any on this channel, but I'm not big enough yet. But I started getting them on the scavenger channel when I'm over there. So. Ew. Yep, they get that way. Just block them and forget about them and move on. Don't give them any energy. Pete sends me a question. He says, how can I get people to trust my advice when I'm new and nobody knows me? Well, being a small channel that gives advice on how to do YouTube, and I have a small channel, I get this kind of question all the time. You know, why should people listen to me when I'm such a small channel giving advice on how to grow on YouTube? And the reason why is we all start at the beginning. You don't have to be big, whether it's YouTube and you're doing YouTube advice, or even say you're a reseller and you're giving reselling advice, but you're fairly new to reselling. I started the scavenger channel. When we started the scavenger channel, I wasn't really giving reselling advice. When we started on the scavenger channel, our initial thing was just showcasing the stuff we were finding in our storage units and just showing what we were doing. So focus your content on that. If you're really new into what you're doing, you know, when I started the scavenger channel, we were on like our second or third storage unit. So we hadn't done it a whole lot, but over time, we started building up some experience and we started getting questions. When the audience started asking questions on how to do stuff, then we started giving advice, answering those questions. The whole reason I started this channel was I was getting questions in the reselling community almost every time I would go on a live stream. You know, at the time I was just doing the scavenger channel, but I was having people emailing me. I was spending hours of my time answering YouTube questions. And so I started a channel answering those YouTube questions. Almost all of the content I've created has been based on questions people commonly ask, and the questions that people ask me specifically through the reselling community, as well as other communities I'm in online. Almost every video on this channel has been to answer questions I've been asked. And that's kind of where we got to. That's where we started this channel. And that's where we started answering questions on our reselling channel when we were doing the store scavenger, is when the audience started asking questions. That means that if they're asking you questions, that means they trust you enough to answer the questions. They trust your knowledge. They trust your experience. They trust you to be in a place to answer. And the truth is, the best thing you can do is honesty is always the best policy. If somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer, there's a good way to do it that can help build your relationships and build your trust, which is, I'm not sure about the answer to that, but I'm going to find out and get back to you. And then make sure you follow through on that. Go get the answer. Maybe you make a video about it, and then you can go back to that person and say, hey, you know what? I found the answer to this question you asked me the other day. We just posted a video about it. It's going to get you a new view on your video. And it builds that trust within your community because you were willing to go out and do the research that maybe they didn't have the time to do. So that's something that I've done myself. I've had people come to me and ask me questions about stuff. Part of the reason why we started testing Restream, and it just naturally kind of happened, I had people asking me about Restream. I hadn't used Restream. So my answer was, I don't know, but you know what? I'm going to look into Restream and find out. So I started looking into Restream. And then our friend Shelly at Shelly Saves the Day gave me a coupon code for 30-day free trial of their Pro plan. So I'm using that 30-day free trial of Pro plan right now with Restream. Today I'm using StreamYard because I had already set this one up in StreamYard before she gave me that. But I'm testing out Restream right now for the weekly live streams. And we're doing some comparison videos comparing StreamYard to Restream and which one's better. And it all came about because people asked me about it. And so I started looking into it and started researching it. And I said I would, find out. And that's what we're doing. So that's one of the things you can do. Instead of just saying, I don't know, sorry, go find somebody else. Say, I don't know, but I will find the answer for you. And then you go out and do the work and find the answer for them. Because that's not only going to help them, then you're going to be able to help more people as well. Because then you can do content on that. And just be honest and say, hey, you know what? Somebody asked me this. We didn't know, so we went and found out. And here's what we found out for you. Like my Canva series. I just started using Canva Pro a few weeks ago, a few months ago. And I've been using Canva for a while. So people started asking me questions about Canva, and some of it I didn't know how to do. So I went and figured out how to do it, started improving my own thumbnails. I was already trying to learn how to do things better on my thumbnails anyway. So some of the techniques and stuff that we shared just last week, it was because people asked me how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. So I went and figured out how to do it and made a video on it. Yeah, your mod's doing an awesome job over there. So, whoo. All right, so Connor sent me an email, said, hey, should I upload daily? I see some channels blowing up this way. It's up to you. I can't tell you what kind of time you have. I don't know what your schedule is, and I don't know your niche. He didn't include his channel in there, so I don't know what his niche is. Here's the thing with daily content. Some niches, daily content works really, really well. With my scavenger channel, I can tell you, we did daily content for about 2 months, and we saw some really, really strong growth during that 2 months. We got a lot of content out, and we were able to do it. But personally, I wasn't able to sustain a long-term, a daily posting schedule. With my chaotic schedule, with the family schedule, it was just too much pressure and our content wasn't really improving because we were more worried about getting another video out today. And especially in that niche, it was really, really hard because I couldn't really batch videos, because we're out there recording for the day while we're working on the storage unit, doing all the stuff, trying to do listing, trying to do all the stuff that we were trying to do in reselling, and trying to put out a video every day. For me, doing everything myself, most of the people I see that are doing that, they have a team of people Most of the other reselling, Pirate, What the Hells, Justin over Grind Spines, Blocker Nuts, the ones that are doing daily videos in that niche, they usually have a team of people that are helping them work on the units, get stuff listed, and produce the videos. Doing everything by myself, trying to do all the business and trying to put out a video a day, it was way too much work, and I was driving myself insane. And Jessica was getting mad at me because I was basically working all the time, because all I was doing was trying to get the work done and trying to get the next video out. And I wasn't spending much time with the kids, and I wasn't spending much time with her. So it was not a schedule we could sustain. So we backed off. Now, with this type of content, I'm doing 3 live streams a week right now. And maybe an occasional, like this one's just an extra one we threw in there. We're going to do a Q&A at least once a month, maybe more if we have time. And we're going to probably do a channel review stream at least once a month, if not more often than that. But what we're doing is, when I can fit it into the schedule. The reason I'm having to do this late at night is everybody else is already in bed, so I'm able to go live and do this. I can't really do it during the daytime when we've got the kids and I've got Jessica and everybody else. So you've got to figure out a posting schedule that works with you and your family. It should be a family decision. It's not something you could just want to decide on your own. It should be something that you kind of work out with your family so that they understand what your posting schedule is, what days, and they can kind of help keep you accountable too. Because the family knowing what you're posting, hey, have you finished your video for the day yet? You need to get your video out. And so, me too. That's part of the reason why I want to monetize. That's why I'm trying to, do some things to monetize the channel. One of my goals is to build. I have at least 5 people that I want to hire. I want to hire somebody to help me with the videography. I want to hire somebody to help me with editing, somebody to help me with graphic design. I would love it to where my only job is strategy and creating the content, and other people are doing everything else for me. That's the kind of business I want to build. I want to get it to where my time and my attention is spending time with y'all, creating the content, maybe working on some of my products and other things, and allowing other people to do that editing, to do the graphics, to do all those things that I'm not that great at. They take a lot of my time. They're just time sucks and energy sucks for me. I like editing. I like playing with the editing, but I'm not good at it. I'm not great at it. I enjoy playing with thumbnails, but I'm not great at it. I'd rather be paying somebody to leverage that time, because then that's more time I can spend on creating another video. If you think about it, if I've got somebody doing the editing on videos and somebody doing the thumbnails for videos, I can pump out. I could probably be doing daily content, because all I got to do is sit here and, plan out the videos and record the video, plan out the video, record the video. I can plan out 4 or 5 videos, record 4 or 5 videos, give them to the editor, give them to the thumbnail creator, and I'm on to the next videos. So I could probably be doing daily content if I had that team in place. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. We do. I think she's trying to go to sleep. But I will tell her when she wakes up. So how everybody else doing? Oh, this is a good one. Cassie sent me a question. She said, I've been on YouTube for 2 years and I have under 1,000 subscribers. Should I give up? And I see this. We had this question in Shelly's just yesterday. I see this question all the time. I've been on for 2 years. I've been on for 3 years. I've been on for 5 years. And I still can't should I give up? Well, I'm going to tell you yes. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because if my telling you that you should quit YouTube is going to make you quit YouTube, then you should quit YouTube anyway. If you don't have the drive, and if your drive is based on your subscriber number, you should quit YouTube. If your drive to create content is coming from how much money you're making off of YouTube, you should quit YouTube. You should be doing YouTube because you have a passion for creating content, because you can't imagine yourself not creating content. If you're not that passionate about it, if you don't believe in what you're doing, if you don't full-heartedly feel it, that may be why you're not growing, because your viewers see your videos and they can feel that through your content. So yeah, if you're not passionate, so there's a couple of choices. Either you can quit YouTube, which is okay. I see people quit YouTube every day. You could also do another thing. You could pivot to a different niche, one you're more passionate about. You could pivot. I did this myself. I've pivoted several times on YouTube. I've been on the platform off and on for 10 years. This is my first time doing YouTube growth content. I've done different types of content with greater or lesser success on different channels. Some of them, I've had channels that I built up to over 1,000 subscribers, but I didn't have the passion for the channel, so I quit the channel. Some of those channels have been deleted, so you can't even find them anymore because I deleted the entire channel, the entire Google account. But I've had channels that were over 1,000 subscribers. This is why I can tell people what to do on YouTube, because I've done it myself on some of it multiple times. Not all my channels have been huge. I haven't had any 100,000. I don't have any silver play buttons. Trust me, if I had one, you would see it in my background. But I have had some fairly successful YouTube channels. I've had some fairly successful blogs. I've had some fairly successful podcasts. I just had other things going on, other priorities in my life that caused me to have to either stop, or I changed, or, I didn't like the direction my content was going. I had one that I sold. I had a relationship site where I was teaching dating and relationship advice. I built a blog and a YouTube channel, and I sold the entire company, because I look at a blog and a YouTube channel as a company, and each one is its own company. I sold that company for quite a bit of money several years ago. And so, but I built it up from scratch by myself. But if you're doing YouTube for the money, if you're doing YouTube for fame, I think you're doing it for the wrong reasons. I think you should be passionate about the content, and you should be trying to serve an audience, even if it's an entertainment audience, or if it's, I don't care what that audience is, you should be trying to serve an audience. That's my personal opinion. My opinion doesn't count for much with many people. I mean, we got throngs of raving fans chomping at the bit to get to my channel, right? But if little old me can tell you, even, I don't care if you're asking the same question as Sean Cannell, who's got over 1 million subscribers, or if you're asking it to PewDiePie, who's got 50 million subscribers. If their opinion of whether you should stop at YouTube was going to stop you from doing YouTube, you shouldn't be doing YouTube. You should be doing YouTube because you're passionate about it and you can't imagine yourself not doing it. Because it's a lot of work. It is not an easy thing to do. And you don't have, if you're normal, if you have the mentality of a 9-to-5 job, or getting paid by the hour of the work that you put into something, YouTube's not a good career for you, because you don't get paid based off of the hours you work. You get paid based off of the value you give the community. That's what determines your success. The value you bring is what's going to determine your success on YouTube. How much value can you bring to other people's lives? That's what's going to determine whether you succeed on YouTube. So if you're not providing enough value to people, that's why you're not growing. And you've got to look at it, maybe you've got the best videos in your niche, but if your thumbnails and titles suck and you're not getting any better. I had a channel that I looked at just 2 or 3 days ago that had a very similar question. I think they've been on for like 3 years, consistently putting out content for 3 years. They had like 200 or 300 videos on their channel. And I went back and I couldn't tell the difference between their first thumbnails and their most recent ones, because they had not improved their skills at creating thumbnails in over 300 videos. At what point do you take responsibility for your content and say, I would like this to perform better. I'm going to learn how to do it better. Focus on improving your skills, not on trying to get something out of YouTube. Yeah, but you have to be careful with that too, because you can get so scattered with so many different things. I have a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas. If I was to put a YouTube channel out on every single thing I know, I'd have like 100 channels, because being ADHD, I've studied about 100 different things and I know a lot about all of them. You have to be careful and you have to decide, this is what I'm going to focus on. And I can tell you that because since we started focusing on this channel, you got to realize, when we started the year, we were just a little over 50 subscribers. Most of our first 120 subscribers that we've got right now have come since January 1st, when we decided in the beginning of January that we were going to focus in on one channel. Most of our growth has come since then. Oh, I know. I'm just saying you got to be careful, because I know how the ADHD brain works, and sometimes it says, "Hey, let's go start a new channel." You know why Shelly's having trouble growing? Because she's got like 10 channels. I love Shelly. She's great. She's got too many channels, and she's trying to do it all herself. Now, the people that you see running multiple, like Garrett Leaves, he's got multiple channels with gold play buttons, over 1 million subscribers. But he has a full-time team. He's running a business. He's got a full-time team running those channels. He's not doing it all himself. And even he said some of those channels, like his YouTube channel, his YouTube growth channel, doesn't get the attention it deserves because he's too busy with all these other channels. And every time he starts a new channel, because he's doing it full time, he's got so much residual income going and all that stuff. Every time he starts a new channel, he hires a new team to run that channel. Yeah. Well, that's why I was running 2 channels too. And I get that. I'm just saying, be careful not to keep starting too many new channels. You can run 2 effectively, sort of. And you're doing well with both of your channels anyway. So I think you just do what you feel led to do. I'm never here to really tell people this is what you have to do. I'm just saying this is my experience. I was running 5 channels. I decided to focus on one, because I was just way too scattered. All right, George sent a question. He says, "How do I come up with video ideas? I'm new to my niche and I don't know what people want to see." Use a tool like, there are several ways. One, go to other channels within your niche and see what kind of videos they're putting out. Become a member of those communities. Join groups on Facebook. If you're, this comes back to what we were talking about earlier. Are you passionate about the niche you're in? Because if so, then you should be naturally joining other communities online that are interested in that niche. Not because you want to promote your channel, but because you have an interest in the information being shared in those groups. And especially if you're new, because you're learning from those groups. I have groups on Facebook. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. I've got groups here on YouTube. I've got live streams that I go to all the time on YouTube Growth. I've got live streams that I go to all the time on reselling. Even though I'm not really running my reselling channel, I'm still going to some of those live streams because I'm still learning. I'm still doing some reselling business on the side. And so I'm still going to some of those live streams. I'm still learning how to do stuff better with my own reselling business. I'm a member of those communities. So if you're interested in what you're doing, you should be joining those communities anyway. In those communities, people are going to ask questions. Write those questions down. There's a video idea. I've even been known to see somebody ask a question in a group on Facebook. And some groups allow you to self-promote a little bit. Like some of them won't let you blatantly self-promote, where you just go in and do a fresh post. but some of them, like if you have a video that answers a question, you can share the video. And so I've actually done this in some of those groups where I will actually see somebody's question, record a video real quick, record, edit, upload a video, and then go back to the group and say, hey, I've got a video on my YouTube channel answering your question because I just made it. And then I show them that video where I answered their question, because sometimes their questions would take way too long to try to answer in a post, but I can answer it in 2 or 3 minutes on a video. When I started the storage scavenger, I was only on the second storage unit I'd ever bought, but I was already involved in the community because I had learned most of what I know about how to do storage units. I learned from watching other storage unit videos on YouTube. But when we started the channel, we were on our second or third unit. So I understand the being new to the niche because I was new to the reselling community. I was new to reselling. I was new to all this. I think it can bring a unique perspective in that you bring that newbie perspective and you can connect with the other newbies in a little bit better way than some of the people that have been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years. The same thing with the YouTube. Some people connect with us as small YouTubers better than they do with D. Niman, Nick Niman, Daniel Battelle, Brian G. Johnson, because they've been doing it for so long that they sometimes get a disconnect. And I love all of their channels and they share great information, but sometimes they get a disconnect between them and the average newbie. And sometimes we can put things in a way that a newbie understands a little better because we're, just a little bit ahead of them. You don't have to be big ahead of them to be able to help them, because all you need is just a little bit more information than what they know. That's why I started focusing on total newbies, because focusing on total newbies here, I have more experience than the average newbie that's just starting out and has never created a video. Yeah. And that's exactly what I'm saying is if you're totally new to your niche, I would take the approach of just sharing your progress, sharing your growth. That's sharing your journey as whatever your niche is. Take that approach of, hey, I'm new to this. I'm just sharing my experience, sharing what I'm learning as I go through here. Hopefully it provides some value, and other people that are at the same level as I am can learn something as well. That's where I love that approach. The sharing my journey approach works so well. One, because most of what I've ever done in my life has been that way. But two, it's also because you can, when you're an expert, if I was a YouTube growth expert like Nick Niman or D. Niman, I kind of have to be more polished. I have to be, they kind of put off this illusion that they're perfect, even though they talk about how they make mistakes all the time and that, they all have things that they can improve. They try to kind of be more polished and more perfect, more, I'm an expert, so I can't make mistakes today kind of vibe to their content and the way they do things. Whereas being that newbie, I can get raw and real and say, hey, I really screwed up today, and this is what happened because of my screw up. And then they can see that journey as you overcome that screw up. And that can really get engaging with people. That can really get people engaged in you as a creator and following your journey. They get invested in you, not just your information. I've had it happen with me, and that's one of the things that I've always found works for me. All right, Tristan sent me an email, says, I'm trying to get more views. What is a good click-through rate for my thumbnails? Better than the other thumbnails it's being compared to in search is really the answer. Now, the average click-through rate on the platform is between 2 and 10%. My personal experience, and this is where you have to look at your own analytics and track what's going on with your channel. This is where you have to track your impressions and your click-through rate and compare those and over time. I have found if my click-through rate falls below 6 to 7%, YouTube stops showing it out to more people, at least for a little while. So maybe they're showing it out. Maybe I get 500 or 600 impressions, but I've got about a 6 or 7% click-through rate. They'll keep showing it out to more people. But if it falls below that and I get down into 5%, all of a sudden my impression rate stops going up. So they're saying, okay, your click-through rate's at about 5%. We're not going to keep showing it to more people right now. But then they might let it sit there for a few months and then start showing it again. This is where sometimes you'll post a video and months or even years later, something either YouTube starts showing it again or something changed in the algorithm. And now the way they rank that video is totally different than it used to be. So again, put it out there, let it go. Also, I kind of look at my thumbnails, and thumbnails you can change. So if you've got a thumbnail, you put a thumbnail out there and you're getting 2 to 5% click-through rate within the first couple of days, you might go ahead and change that thumbnail out. If you're still getting more impressions, if your impressions count still going up and your thumbnails are staying down, go ahead and while that impression count's still going up, go ahead and change the thumbnail. Try a different thumbnail. The other thing I found, though, is if I'm not getting the watch time, that may be the problem, not the thumbnail. You might have, I have a thumbnail right now that's converting at about a 12% click-through rate, but the watch time is atrocious. It's losing about 60% of the traffic in the first minute. Well, that tells me that I did a good job on the thumbnail, but then people didn't like the video. I didn't get them hooked right. I missed something in the beginning of the video. And so because of that, I'm not even going to worry about changing that thumbnail because people aren't watching the video once they click it anyway. So if they're not watching the video, then I'm not going to keep trying to tweak the thumbnail because I'm getting a decent click-through rate. I'm just not getting enough watch time. So YouTube's showing it to less people. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Answer that one. Answer that one. Oh. All right, and last question I have on my list. If you got any more questions, anybody that's watching, go ahead and leave them in the chat. Again, if you've watched this long on the replay, leave us a comment below with any questions you might have. This is the last one I have prepared that came in ahead of time. And said, how many subs do I need to go full-time on YouTube? And this goes back. We keep getting questions about subscribers as if everything revolves around subscribers. It's not about subscribers. I know people making a full-time income with less than 1,000 subscribers through affiliate marketing, through brand deals, through other things. You can make, there's several questions that you have to ask yourself. This is what you need to do. One, you need to have two budgets. You need to have a family budget so that you know what your income you have to replace is. And two, you need a budget for your YouTube business so that you're putting money back into your business. So any money you make on YouTube, whether it's through affiliate marketing, that's revenue for the business. That is not personal income that's going in your pocket. So you need to set a budget for the business, including how much you're paying yourself. That's going to tell you when you're exceeding that budget, then you can expand the budget. But when you're exceeding that budget, that's going to tell you when you can go full time. I can't tell you how many subscribers it's going to take because I don't know what your numbers are. Like my budget, because I know I got a very few things. I have a very small budget for my YouTube channel and I have a very small personal budget. I can live on a really, really small budget because I know how to. I have no debt. My wife and I know how to live on a really tight budget. So if we could do that, we can live on very minimal income for a little while. I wouldn't want to do that long term. But then the other thing is I would get that income up. I would at least double or triple your budget before going full time. I would also set up 2 emergency funds. I would set up a 6-month emergency fund for your business. That means 6 months of your business budget in an emergency fund that you can access in cash assets. I would also have a 6 to 8 month personal emergency fund for your family. If you have those 2 things in place, then that means you could go for a year or more without making any money and pay all your bills. If you have that kind of leverage on yourself, then a pandemic hits and wipes out your YouTube channel, you're going to be okay. You might have to start something new, but you got a year to get it off the ground, so you're going to be okay. And I do, I follow the Dave Ramsey plan. I am a graduate of his Financial Peace University. I am also a Dave Ramsey trained financial coach. So I do financial planning with people. So the budget is where it's at. You got to have that budget, and you need to have a budget for your family, but you also need to have a budget for your business. That's what's going to tell you when you can go full time, not how many subscribers you have. When you add elements at the end, is there a way to manipulate into different positions? It seems it just lets you move them a little. There is a finite defined area that they can go, but you can move them from the left to the right. You can move them anywhere within that square. So let me show here. Let me pull up a video and we'll just look at one real quick. Hold on just a second. Let me get inside my studio. Content. We'll just look at this last one. And in screens. And so let me get up here. Back to my StreamYard. We're going to share the screen. And all right, let's show this. All right, so here we are. We are going to do this right here. So we've got the video elements right here. We have our little subscribe button here. Now we can move this. We can move these around. Now there is like a kind of, you can see where the little lines are. It won't let me move it beyond a certain point. But you can move it to the left. You can move it to the right. I can move them down here and put my subscribe button up here. So you've got lots of room here that you can move those elements around. I personally like to keep them in the same places because I point and say, check this video here, check this video here. And that way we share it more effectively. So I can say, click, or I'll do it this way because it'll be, I usually go on this side. So I'll go click this video here and then click this video here and direct them to what videos I'm going to have there. What I do is, like, a lot of times my top one will be, this is the video I'm going to specifically recommend you to. And that's usually the one that's going to be in my card. That's going to be in my end screen. It's going to be in my pinned comment. It's going to be in my description. That's my funnel video. And then the other one is going to be more general. Hey, for more YouTube building tips, make sure you check out this video here. That's going to be the one that I select as best for a user. Because what if they've already watched the video that I'm recommending them to, which most of my subscribers, they've already watched that video. Maybe somebody that's not subscribed but watching my content, they may have already watched that other video I'm recommending. So that's where I'm going to put that best for subscriber video is that second video. And that one's a more general call to action for more YouTube growth tips. Check out this video right here. So the top one will always be, this is a specific video that's going to take what I'm talking about in this video further. And then the second one's going to be on more general. This is something about my channel, but it's going to be best for viewers. So I have no idea what that video is going to pop up as. I hope that makes sense. You just have to remember where you're going to point them and point in the right directions, you know, because I see people do this. Click this video wherever it shows up. I try to remember, okay, it's going to show up here. It's going to show up here. All right. Any more questions? Hope everybody's staying warm. Just remember, when you take out the trash and it's icy outside, please do not slip and fall. It is not fun. I've been in pain most of the day. Maybe someday down the line. It gets better with practice. I did not learn how to do this naturally. In fact, I'm still learning how to do it better, y'all. I'm still working on improving my watch time. I'm trying, we've been focused for the last 2 months really heavily on thumbnail design and trying to improve our thumbnails. Our thumbnail click-through rates are doing pretty okay. They're getting better and better. We're going to continue working on thumbnails, but now we're shifting our focus to trying to increase our watch time and trying to increase that and trying to keep more people on the channel as we go through here. So that's something that, you got to balance those two, especially early on, is balancing that watch time and click-through rate. Because my click-through rate might be really good, but if I'm not getting lots and lots of impressions, then it doesn't matter. So I got to keep people on the videos longer. And that's, those of y'all in Dee's group know I asked him a question the other day. He gave me some pretty frank advice, and he's probably right. So we're going to try what he said in some of our upcoming videos. And it's all about trimming the fat and getting rid of any unnecessary steps in my videos. And we're going to try it and see. I'm going to cut out even my introduction of myself and just go straight from hook right into the content and see how it works. Yeah, everybody's got their own opinion of it. My reason for doing that is I tend to get, looking at my own analytics, I get more clicks on the best for view videos than I do on the ones that I personally put in there on my own content. My own experience says having that best for viewer video gets me more clicks. So that's why I do it. I understand why they're saying doing it the way they do it because of the funnel system that they got, and that distracts from the funnel system. But like I said, what if they've already seen that video? Returning subscribers, especially when you're really, really small and most of your views are coming from your subscribers, you got to think about how are those subscribers going to respond to that video they've already seen. They're not going to click on it. But if you put that best for viewer, it might pick a video that they haven't seen yet. As far as I grow, it might change. But right now, looking at my data, it's doing me more benefit than harm having it there. So, and I've tested it. The videos that don't have it there, honestly, have 0 clicks. Whereas the ones that do have it there have pretty decent click-through rates on some of them. Again, I listen. If I took everything that they ever said, I would be doing all Camtasia Studio videos right now, because Dee and Daniel both told me to double down on my Camtasia Studio videos because that was what was performing when they first looked at my channel, when I only had like 10 videos on the channel. Because I had one Camtasia Studio video and it had like 20 or 30 views on it. And at the time, it was one of my highest performing videos. But one, I'm not very good at video editing. I had one video that did well on it, and honestly, it did well on clicks, but it had a super high bounce rate. And it didn't keep the viewers on very long. So I decided I was going to ignore their advice and I was going to continue my own strategy, which is, my strategy and what I recommend is I agree with doubling down, but you want to get enough content to have some context. That's why I set my goals the way I did. I have 5 pillars of content, and I've talked about my pillars of content in other videos, so I'm not going to go through that whole strategy, but I have my 5 pillars of content. I'm doing a certain number of videos for each pillar of content. I've only got 5 left, and it's the one that's going to be next week, because my last pillar is my monetization pillar. It's the only pillar. I've only done 2 videos on it, and I'm going to do 5 more videos on monetization. It's the next series we're going to do, because that fills out all of my pillars. Once I have that base content for each one of my pillars, now I can go in and look at what's my top performing pillar. What content in which pillar is getting the most views? That's what's going to decide what I double down on. But you have to have enough content out to have some context to look at. One of the problems is I see them telling people to double down when they've got like 5 or 10 videos. They don't have enough of their pillar content out to really know what the audience is going to respond to. I'm doing the funnel system. The only thing I'm doing that's kind of outside of their funnel system is putting that one video in there. Everything else that they do in the funnel system, I'm doing. Whether it's working, I need to get more views really to see how well it works and keep people watching long enough to get to the funnel system. Anyone, I always tell, whether it's me, if you're listening to Adrian, if you're listening to D, Nick, listen to what they say, test it in your own niche and see if it works for you. Because there's things that I do that are different than what they do, because my test results have shown that's what works best for me. Everybody should always be testing. ABT. Always be testing everything every day, all the time. We're always testing new things. We're always testing different strategies, different things. We learn different things from different creators. We test them, see if they work for us. We're always testing, because we're going to figure out what works best for us. Because, what you got to remember too, 90% of what we're teaching, what they teach, is what YouTube says is the best practices. It's not always the best practice for you, but in general, this is what the best practices of YouTube are. But the one thing that I really didn't do was doubling down. I've taken their advice on a lot of things, and it's helped my channel. The one thing that I didn't really do is doubling down too early. I think they tell people to double down a little too early. I think sometimes, once you've got 20, 30, 40 videos out and you've got some data and you've got some traffic, you've got some data of what's working and what's not. But when you've got 5, 10 videos out and you've only got, 5 or 10 views on each video, I think that's too early to double down, because you don't have enough data to make a solid decision. And you might double down on something that does well, but it doesn't build the audience you want. So that's one of the things that we're looking at overall. One, I'm looking at as I'm doubling down, I'm going to be looking at the data, but I'm also looking at, is this going to build me the audience I want on this channel? Because if I'm building an audience that's disconnected from what I really want to do long-term with this channel, then I'm probably not going to double down on that. But I have to get some content out there in different areas and different things and see how people react to it. And having 1 or 2 videos is not enough to get a good judge, because it might not have been The content, it might not have been the topic. It might have been a great topic and the perfect topic for you, but you screwed up the thumbnail or you screwed up the video, and so people didn't watch it. It might be the perfect video for you. It might be the perfect topic for you. You just screwed up on the thumbnail and the title, so people didn't click. So this is why I'm saying you need to get a sample of content out there and get some views, get some people seeing and seeing how people react to the content. And it's nothing against them. I love them, and I think they've got some great advice. I've learned a lot from them. I've applied a lot of it myself. But don't take anybody's advice and treat it like it's gold and it's the only way to do YouTube. Test things for yourself and see what works for you. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that y'all gotten some value out of this. If nobody else has any more questions, we are going to wrap things up. I've been on for an hour and a half already for my hour-long show. As usual, going over time. Jessica's come up. That means she's still awake. She brought me a brownie. Look at y'all. I have a brownie. But I can't eat that on the live stream. We're getting into the Valentine's Day brownies a little early, I guess. Well, technically, 5 minutes away. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We will see y'all next time. I want to give you all a minute to come in and say hi. Be safe. Stay warm. We will be back Monday. We've got our final video on Canva coming out on Monday. And then we're going to kind of make a pivot. We're going to shift over to talking about monetization and some things that we can do to monetize and some of the business side. I got about 5 or 6 videos we're going to put out on monetization and the business side of running a successful YouTube channel and some of those practices to put into place so that you can build a profitable, if you look at our value proposition, it's all about running a profitable YouTube channel. So we're going to have to get into the how to make a profit with your YouTube channel. That's the last pillar of content. Once we get that pillar filled out, then we're going to kind of look at all of our pillars, see how they're performing, and decide what we're going to do next. So we haven't made a decision what comes after that yet. We're going to see how that content performs compared to our other content, and then we'll start looking at where we go from here as far as what we're going to really start focusing and doubling down on. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Y'all have a fantastic day, and we'll see y'all at the next show. Y'all have a great week.